All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking about a real game show host legend in real time for real people, just like you, just like me. I'm just kind of straying out of my musical comfort zone here because 2020 just continues to suck. It sucks more every day. And without Alex Trebek around, it just gets even worse. This guy was game show host Comfort Food. This show is typically on at 7 o'clock at night. You had a nice dinner. You wind down, you sit on the couch, and you hit a button, and there's Alex Trebek for 36 years. He, along with Pat Sajak and Vanna White, basically have been around for, I don't know, maybe longer than any game show hosts in history. I don't know all of the stats on that, but it's an amazing run, and it was stopped, unfortunately, by cancer. Alex Trebek passed away over the weekend at the age of 80 years old. What I love about Alex Trebek is that he was classy, he was sophisticated, but he was also really down to earth. And this is a rare thing in the world today. And I think one of the reasons I'm actually doing this video is because with all of the rancor and all of the hatred and all of the negativity and the fact that our world seems to be in perpetual lockdown, when he started, it was what, 1980 something? 84, I think, is when he took over for Art Fleming, who used to be the host of Jeopardy, and I'm not sure if there was an interim host between Art and Alex, but even Weird Al Yankovic did a song about Jeopardy. I Lost on Jeopardy, which was a pretty funny parody. But I mean, culturally, this is a big show, and Alex himself was the reason the show scaled the heights that it did. It was an interesting television program to watch, even if you didn't know any of the answers. And it seemed as though Alex knew all the answers, even though he was reading off of a card. He kind of made everybody feel like he knew what the answer was. So that was his brilliance. The revered and beloved Jeopardy host since 1984, whose calm but witty presence was must-see TV for millions, has died. And that's what I'm talking about. A Jeopardy spokesperson tells TMZ Jeopardy is saddened to share that Alex Trebek passed away peacefully at his home this morning, surrounded by family and friends. This is, very similar to the way Eddie Van Halen passed away. And you could even make the analogy that Alex Trebek was kind of like the Eddie Van Halen of game show hosts. He was just so amazing, and I don't know how they're going to replace him. If I were a purist here, I would say maybe it's time to retire Jeopardy. But I know so many people love the show itself and the premise of the show that I'm sure they're probably going to look for a replacement. But how do you fill those shoes, right? The TV icon had been battling stage 4 pancreatic cancer since announcing the news back in March of 2019. So he almost made it to 2021, which again defies most of the odds when you're talking about stage 4. He immediately started chemo, but made no plans to retire and continued hosting his game show as impressive as ever. And I actually watched a fairly recent episode. And a guy who's got stage 4 cancer, who's 80 years old, he looked remarkable. And I can only hope to hold up as well as Alex Trebek did. Trebek powered through a full year despite what he called massive attacks of Great Depression that made him feel or wonder if it was really worth fighting on, because he said he realized giving up on life would be a betrayal to his wife, God, and other cancer patients. He pointed out the odds of surviving a second year with pancreatic cancer were just 7%, but he hoped he'd be able to celebrate that milestone too. Sadly, he took a turn for the worse. Alex continued to host Jeopardy, recently beginning his 37th season And earlier this year, he shot the epic Greatest of All Time tournament on primetime TV. So, just an amazing, amazing person who, again, really was just a formulative presence on television. He was a comfort. It was like comfort food to turn on the TV and know Alex Trebek was going to be there. So pretty much, again, kind of like the Eddie Van Halen of game show hosts, it's going to be tough to replace that. Maybe you retire the whole concept. This was a television show that was, I believe, invented by Merv Griffin, who was really good at talk shows and game shows, and he had quite a track record. But to have Alex Trebek as your host was truly the ace in the hole. So again, 2020 just kind of sucks, people. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're all not already subscribed. Hit the bell for notifications, and you can hit me up over on Patreon for just $1 a month. I still need your support over there. 2020, it's not going to get any better, apparently, and I'm always in need of financial support to keep the channel going. So I appreciate everybody, and I'll talk to you all soon.